Good morning. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing? Have you enjoyed your extra hour of sleep that we got last night as we fell backwards? So, Sunday's big picture day. And the big picture for today is, what are you hanging on to that you need to let go? What upset, hate, whatever the term is that you've been using, if you've been hanging on to forever, that you just got to let it go? Is it against a parent? Is it against an ex spouse or lover? Is it against a sibling? Is it against a former employer, a former business partner? There's always somebody that, did us wrong, and we want to hang on to that story. We want to hang on to that. The reason that I feel this way is because of this. The reason that I'm suspicious of you in a relationship is because what's happened to me in the past. The reason that I don't want to go forward with this new business idea is because of what happened to me with a prior business partner. The reason I'm acting like this as a parent is because of what happened to me by my parent. I'll offer you this idea. When we hang on to this distrust or hate or suspicion, whatever you want to call it, are we hurting the person that is the basis of all of that? Of course not. We're not harming them at all. The only person that we're harming is ourselves when we hang on to something like that and stick with something like that. And it stops us. It stops us from moving forward. It stops us from having all that we can have in our lives. It prevents us from taking risks. It prevents us from opening up. It prevents us from having real relationships, having the business that we really want. It prevents all of that. So what's a way in order for us to deal with that? Well, there's this idea of elegantly blaming. And how does that work? So let's say that it's a parent, and you are upset at a parent for a long period of time because the parent didn't do this or did do that or didn't do this or whatever. They left, they were abusive, they weren't there for you. Well, typically what happens when we've experienced something like that is we do the exact opposite. When we have kids, then we overcompensate. So the way to elegantly blame is to say to the parent, I blame you for making me a better parent, because I'm now the parent that I want to be because of the experience that I had with you. So thank you, or I blame you for making me more attentive in a way that I wanted to be, making me the person that I am. Also, whatever that experience is, remember, we learn a lot more from our problems than we do from our successes. So what were the benefits that you got out of that experience? If it was a bad relationship, then you learned a lot more about what it is that you want in life. Plus, it made you a stronger person. If you've been through that, you're now stronger. You know more about how to deal with relationships. You know more about how to pay attention to them. You're probably a lot more attentive to the relationship because you know how fragile they can be. Again, if it's a parent situation, then you had to become a lot more independent, probably, if something along those lines happened. You were able to be more mature because you had gone through that process, which probably allowed you to be more successful than the people that were around you. If you were with a business partner and it didn't go well, now you know more about how to have a successful business and how to have a partner that matters. So you not only elegantly blame them for the lessons, but you elegantly blame them for the strength that you got. In other words, whatever that experience is, you grew as a result of it. You developed muscle as a result of it, and you gotta blame them. You gotta thank them for that, because had that experience not happened, you wouldn't have that maturity, you wouldn't have that independence, you wouldn't have that ability. So, for the big picture today, think about something that you really need to let go. Something that's happened in your past that you've hung on to, that you've used as a defense mechanism, and it's time to let it go. And then ask yourself, what good came out of this? What were the strengths that I got out of this? What was the what were the positive attributes that I developed in response to that? Because they're there. And then elegantly blame the person. Thank you for making me more independent. Thank you for making me more mature. Thank you for making me more successful. Thank you for making me that much more attentive to a relationship that I want it that much more. Thank you for making me a better parent. Thank you for making me the parent that I want to be. Elegantly blame them. And if you want to be really go after it, write them a letter. And you don't even have to mail it. But write them a letter elegantly blaming them for all of the positive things that came out of that experience. And then let it go. Then it's time to let that go and to move on to the next thing and focus on what were the benefits that you got out of that experience and how can you use that now in the future. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Go Packers with our new quarterback, Jordan Love. Go Pack Go. Thanks for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.